I want to platinum every Call of Duty, of which there is a lot of them, but since Black Ops 6 is just a month away from dropping, you know what I had to start with. Call of Duty World at War, the third Call of Duty developed by Treyarch, was released in November 2008. This game was what really piqued my interest in World War II history at the age of 11 and has been a game in this long-standing series I've always maintained is one of my personal favorites. But platinum-wise, this is heralded as one of the hardest Call of Duty campaigns to complete on Veteran, with the enemy's cracked aimbot, grenade spam, infinitely spawning enemies, and to top it all off, terrible checkpoints. We'll need to make our way through the game's 15 missions on Veteran if we want to grab the trophy Hardened War Hero and that sweet platinum trophy as a result. Now the smart move is to probably replay a game you haven't touched in 16 years on an easier difficulty and get reacquainted with the game. I'm not a smart man though, so I jumped headfirst into the campaign on Veteran with some true words of wisdom before getting started. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I would lean towards awful. Awful, but with perseverance, we can do it. As with any Veteran campaign, it's just about getting to the next checkpoint. The game starts with the mission Semper Fi, which starts our American campaign, where we're being held captive by the Japanese, only to get saved by Kiefer Sutherland just before we get game ended. Our objective was simple: push the Japanese forces back and escape. Being the first mission, Semper Fi isn't too challenging to get through on Veteran, but along the way we did get our first of 13 death cards, World at War's version of Intel, that I wasn't really out to grab on this playthrough, but hey, I'll take them if I remember where they are, as well as grabbing the trophy Saving Private Ryan, which isn't for saving Matt Damon, but this other private called Ryan, from a fiery death. Saved Private Ryan. We're on the board. Again, pretty easy level, at least compared to the rest of the game, and it was on to the next. Get your hands dirty. There we go. Carlson's Raiders. Our next mission was Little Resistance, which sees us skip ahead from 1942 to 1944 to participate in the Battle of Peleliu, which sort of plays out very Normandy-esque as we storm the beach to push through the Japanese forces. It being the second mission though means the Veteran BS hasn't really kicked in yet, as we survived our first Banzai attack. It was, okay. Close shave. Took out at least 4 soldiers with a single radio bombardment. Weapons of mass destruction. As one of our lads gets game overed and the level ends. Shit. Bloody Palula? That's a rough one. Our next mission was Hard Landing, a level where apparently that difficulty I was expecting makes an appearance as we try to capture and disable a Japanese airfield. But in the beginning, again pretty straightforward and nothing too alarming, as we used our flamethrower to take out Japanese soldiers in the grass and the trees for 2 trophies. Snake in the grass, we got it. We got him. We definitely died a few times on the lead up to the airfield, but the hard part is right at the end, where we need to defend our position against the Japanese counterattack. The hard part about this is there's tanks we need to take out, and to do so we need to use the cannons, and, well, they're basically death traps. There's no cover, the enemies lock onto you and only you die in 1 or 2 bullets, and oh yeah, the cannons are aimed at the sky and take a good few seconds to actually aim at what you want to take out. I was stuck here for a solid 20 minutes, but finally, after remembering our smoke grenades, we got it done. The sword is broken. With 3 missions down, it was time to make our way over to the Western Front and play the most iconic mission in this game, Vendetta. Back we go to 1942 as we wake up amongst numerous fallen comrades. We crawl through the straight depression that this scene is, and it's the one and only Gary Oldman, ready to guide us through this hell as Reznov. Vendetta, as iconic as it is though, is one of the most brutal missions we've faced so far due to this sniper fight. You have frames of a second to react to this cheating asshole, and unlike other difficulties, this fight takes on the rule of 3. 3, come on.
What?
Yes, we need to hit him 3 times to take him out, and boy, oh boy, did this up the death toll with a slap in the face coming from also getting the trophy Purple Heart for dying more than 20 times in a level. Basically a you are so bad, but hey, at least you haven't quit yet trophy, which is nice.
I don't know why we got that, but I'll take it.
I was genuinely stuck here for a good half an hour, dying time after time, fully immersing myself in the game by seeing if dodging in real life would help until I finally locked in. Locked in so hard, in fact, that as soon as I finally won, my power went out.
You gotta get fully immersed, I'll tell you.
With the power back up and running the next day, we continued on our merry way, and again, the rest of Vendetta really isn't that bad. We still died plenty, don't you worry about that, but it's nothing ball-busting yet. So we made our way through the level, took out the architect, and our mission was complete.
There we go. Architect.
Once again, we get a time skip ahead to 1945 to the mission Their Land, Their Blood, which sees us captured by the Germans only to be saved by Reznov and company, ready to push the Germans back. Now overall, this mission is pretty straightforward except for 2 parts. First, the trenches. The checkpoint is terrible, the infinitely spawning enemies is abundantly apparent, and your teammates take forever to push up.
Are you taking them out, boys, or am I gonna pick my head up and there's someone right in front of me? I would love a checkpoint. I really would. Guys, please. I do not want to be leading this charge. Come on. Oh, f you. I hate this game. No, 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 no. Jesus, man, that was some suspect stuff right there.
Then you have the final push at the Germans' camp, and between playing catch with grenades, the lack of cover that doesn't explode, and again teammates that do nothing, it all just equates to a bad time.
The hammer strikes.
But this was nothing compared to the next mission. Back to the Pacific we go to take on the mission Burn 'Em Out, and this is where the deaths really started to pile on. Our objective is simple, destroy the 4 Japanese mortar crews. That's it. And yet this is one of the hardest levels of the game so far, and it only gets worse from here. I died a lot on this level, but where it just feels unfair is this damn bunker. Not only can you barely see the enemies who will delete you in less than a second, not only is the entrance a tight, unforgiving corridor, not only is the grenade spam still annoying, but there's no checkpoint for the rest of the level. This is the final push and you have to do it all in one go. The strat for a lot of the American campaign is to just use smoke grenades and hope you can take out any enemies before they see you, but goddamn was this mission brutal, or so I thought.
I mean, sake, man, this is I'm stuck! I'm stuck! Please, please, give me a checkpoint, brother. I need it. Oh, good. See, this is where it's awkward as well, because I don't know where everyone is here either. Did I do it? Woohoo! We got there. First try, yeah. Well, that's what it'll be in the video. There we go. Scorched Earth.
Somehow, the next mission, Relentless, is even worse as we try to capture Peleliu. 2 hours. That's how long I was stuck on this mission. 2 goddamn hours. But it's not the beginning of the level that has basically 0 cover and enemies all around, and it's not even the final bunker push at the end. Those are still rough, I won't lie, but compared to this part, they felt like nothing. The push up the hill to the bunker has your World at War standards. Grenade spam.
I hate this part.
Useless teammates.
Worth something. Oh. Oh no. I didn't even see. I don't think we got a checkpoint either. We've made it so far. This sucks.
Enemies everywhere, enemies continuously spawning if you don't keep pushing, only you can't keep pushing because the grenades and stray bullets you cop. This was miserable. And it was here I thought, okay, maybe I can't do this.
Yeah, I don't like these bonsais. I don't like these bonsais. I don't like them!
That was until I remembered the American campaign wants you to spam smoke grenades, and the solution, though risky, is to simply smoke out the final push and run past all the enemies until you hit a checkpoint. Just avoid combat basically and hope a checkpoint pops. A lesson we'll need to remember even more as the game goes on.
Did we do it? Oh, we've been on this mission for so long. Please tell me it's over. Fearless. Oh, Storm Palula. We did get to. Woohoo!
Thankfully, after the missions getting harder and harder, the game gives us a break as we head back to the Soviets with blood and iron, where we control a tank. We can no longer get one shot, no more grenade spam, infinite enemies. What I'm trying to say is this mission is great. So great, in fact, that it's got to be the easiest mission on Veteran to not die on, which we need for a trophy as well. But sadly, we can't stay here in the tank, and back we go to the fun.
Hell on wheels. Let's go. Oh, throw a 6.5.
Our next mission, Ring of Steel, compared to some of the others wasn't too bad. Again, still dying more than I care to admit, but most of the level isn't a ball buster. That comes when we need to push through this courtyard, and you know the drill.
Guys, could I get out of my way? Dude! What the fuck? When the guide on PSN profiles, literally all it says is, hey, just push, but don't push too fast. It's like, okay. No return.
Eviction is sort of the same story. Pretty simple, all things considered. Some tough parts, but nothing too crazy as we make our way through pushing the Germans further and further back into the metro, killing 10 enemies in the dark.
Hey, shot in the dark, let's go!
And getting our ass flooded out to end the mission.
When it rains, it pours.
Then we get another iconic mission in World at War as we return to the American campaign for Black Cats, which, like the tank level, is just refreshing. I mean, banging music aside, it's always just a good time to not get too tapped for hours on end.
One bad gato.
Then the game says enough playing around, it's been a while since I've made you hate yourself, and that stops now because from here to the end it's nothing but pain, starting with the mission, blowtorch and corkscrew. Our objective? Clear out the MG bunkers to allow our troops to progress. This level from start to finish is a bastard from the lack of cover, the Japanese and their trapdoors, MG fire, bad checkpoints, grenade hell, teammates being useless. It's all here and on full display. I was stuck here for over an hour, stuck on basically every checkpoint this game had to offer. From the initial push, clearing out the bunkers with our explosives, to the final push on the big bunker, it all had me hating myself.
Alright. Let me get to the hidey hole, man. Where did you come from? Are you an enemy that people are just not killing? No! Blowtorch and corkscrew.
But with that level done, it was time to finish the Americans' campaign through Okinawa with the level Breaking Point. Time to storm Shuri Castle and end this, which took another hour and a half to do. The initial push up the hill, yet again making me feel like Anakin not listening to Obi-Wan, was a rough one.
Teammates, help me!
But outside of that, with the help of our handy throwable mortars, which just seems like straight up cheating, this level wasn't too bad.
I think. Oh, mortardom.
Making sure to save Roebuck from a sneak attack.
Well, we died. I still think that's a trophy though. Yep, there we go. Garden Angel.
And finally defeating the Japanese on Okinawa. Happy days.
The sun sets. Pretty sure there's more. Yep. The last stand.
Only 2 missions left and the campaign is over. It couldn't possibly get worse from here, right? Yeah, so the next mission is Heart of the Reich as we head back to the Soviets to conquer the Germans once and for all. One of the most difficult Call of Duty missions on Veteran, and one of the reasons this campaign is so notoriously difficult. It was time to face our biggest test yet, and a mission that at times just feels impossible. But it doesn't start that way. The initial push isn't where the game gets its notoriety from. It's from the AA guns onwards. All the usual suspects are here, but the checkpoints are what make this truly painful. You see, there's 4 AA guns we need to take out to start the final push up the stairs, but you only get a checkpoint at the halfway point and end point. The first checkpoint we get through after some trial and error, and all things considered, not too bad. It's that next push that had me questioning if I could even do this at all. The grenades halt all progression, your allies struggle to push forward, the enemies do not stop spawning. This part is flat out miserable, and this isn't even the hardest part of the level.
Look at, do you hear that? Dunk, 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 dunk. You. Checkpoint! Checkpoint!
The push up the stairs is where this level gets its infamous title. And yet, I didn't find it too bad. At least to get up the stairs, it was something I was doing consistently, but Reznov and crew just would not push, causing me to be stuck here for a good hour. But with some luck, it started to feel possible.
Oh, that's good. Get over here. Yeah, move forward, not me though. I'm staying back here. Don't grenade spam me now, come on. Yes! Oh, yes, we got it. Oh my lord. I hated that. For the motherland. Alright, we got one more.
All that was left was one mission. One more mission, and our hell was over. It was time to complete Downfall, the final push through German forces to end the war. This level may not be as hard as the level before, but it's still tough. The first part in particular had me feeling like hell was a long way from over.
Oh, fuck. Fucking grenade spam, that's ridiculous. I hate that just hearing ding 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 ding.
But as we persevered, pushed through the Germans, we finally won. We beat World at War's veteran campaign.
No death run complete. Woohoo! I'm a god gamer. Bearing the burden. That's one. I think there's 4 we get here. Stabbed in the heart. War hero. Hardened war hero. Very inspired. Not gonna lie, there are some parts in that I genuinely was like, I don't know how we get past this. A lot of moments.
Now all we had left was to clean up the 13 remaining trophies, and the platinum was ours. Along the way we'd found quite a few of the death cards, so my first step was to clean those up, and along the way going for the trophy Firestarter, for completing the level, burn 'em out, yet again, while only using our flamethrower.
There we go, Firestarter.
And in Heart of the Reich, found our final death card.
There we go, Grave Robber.
Then it was time to knock out the 3 co-op trophies, the only online portion of the game we needed to worry about. Shout out to Bird, Guna and Reese for helping me out with these. All you need to do here is complete a competitive co-op match, win a 4-player competitive co-op match, and complete a standard campaign co-op match. And the online aspect of this game was done.
Get your right foot wet. 34. I think that's for... yeah, and blue ribbon. Nice. 35. Get your left foot wet.
Then it was time to head back to Vendetta for the trophies The Professional, which is for shooting all the henchmen at the start without reloading our weapon, which does require some good lineups to maximize those collaterals.
The Professional. Let's go.
And Gunslinger, which is for assassinating the general at the end with a pistol.
We got him! Must have got him with a nice headshot. Whoops. Gunslinger.
Next up, we were going back to Semper Fi for the trophy Kamikaze, which is for completing a level on normal or above only using melee attacks.
There we go. Kamikaze.
Ruthless was next on our to-do list, needing to kill 15 enemies at the end of Ring of Steel while mounted on a tank.
Yes! Thank God, that scared me.
Then we were after the trophy Iron Fist, which requires us to destroy all the towers and bunkers in Blood and Iron, which I would have done my first time through if I knew the bunkers could be destroyed.
Alright, we got it. Iron Fist. That just reminds me of Tekken. The Iron Fist Tournament.
Our final level though contained 2 missable trophies. In the mission, Black Cats, for the trophy Lights Out, we needed to shoot out all 6 spotlights on the big ships.
It is! Lights Out.
And for the trophy, Sum of All Zeros, we needed to destroy 45 Japanese zeros by the end of the level, which, I definitely got close on my first attempt.
Sum of All Zeros. Whew. That's a bastard of a trophy right there.
But with all those trophies out the way, all we had left was one final trophy, and that was Rough Economy, for taking out 3 enemies with 1 bullet. And this gave me the perfect excuse to load up zombies and with some luck from the mystery box, pop the trophy along with the platinum, and our time with World at War was over.
Yes, let's go. Rough Economy and the platinum. Woo-wee. By far the hardest platinum we've done so far, without a doubt. There's no question, but it's done.
Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below which Call of Duty you want to see get platinum next. Go check out my Twitch if you want to see these platinum journeys live. Shout out to the channel members and Twitch subscribers for that extra level of support. And special thanks to members of the Bear Club, G&T Papi, Jackie White, Nugget, Darkwolf, Daniel Fitzgerald, Scott Unwin, Steel Vanguard, MPO Crusader, Nef, and Lug Knights. Thank you all, and I'll catch you in the next one.